Anyway, without any further ado, let's just talk about some of the latest and greatest in Ducati technology, motorcycles coming out. We'll pull the curtain. By the way, has everyone had a chance to get themselves some beer, some wine, a little bit of something from Koi Fusion out front? Yeah? Yeah. Maybe? Okay, great. Anyway, thank you for those folks for bringing beer, wine, and of course, Koi Fusion. Delicious food. Okay.
Here you go.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Here you
I'm
go.
going to listen to him.
So guys, the presentation takes around 2 hours, so please sit down and relax and get some wine. Just joking, we will be quick. We know that you want to see all bikes and especially this one. So I'm 100% Italian, as you can see, so I'll try to give you some Ducati, okay? And let's start saying what's the mission of Ducati, what you do represent for Ducati. So mission of Ducati is very easy. We want to deliver to you the best bike with the best content of technology available right now in the market. Now, at the same time, what's really we want to achieve is to create a community all over the world of people, passionate ones, as we like to call Ducatisti, who loves the brand and who loves to share the passion together, okay? This is the reason why you will see also during the presentation and together with Jason in the next month. We will see, and we will try to do many events, both locally and international, so to try to give you excuses to stay with us, to ride your bikes and to enjoy the brand together, okay? Now moving forward, again, let's be quick. So let's start with the Scrambler. So Scrambler, you know better than me. I mean, I was born in the United States, I'm talking about legend, super nice bike, and 1962 of course. So in 2014 we said, you know what, let's get it back. So the concept was, we said, let's keep the same concept, but let's use a contemporary design. And we ended up with the Scrambler 800. So you know, we had the Icon, the Cafe Racer, full throttle, the sled, and we had a huge success. So if I remember well, the first year we managed to sell out, actually between 16 and 80,000 units all over the world, which for Ducati, still a kind of small company with all the production in Bologna, is wow, incredible number. Now, what's new for the 2020? Let's say that Scrambler compared to Ducati, if Ducati values are style, sophistication, performance and trust, Scrambler is a little bit different. It's more, you know, the land of joy, so self-expression, have fun, enjoy your bike without concerning too much about the performance. So the idea for the 2020 was to give you, let's say, a bike very essential, with a very nice color, the dark one, and with a very aggressive price, which you're gonna see over there, in order for you to give you the chance to come here in Motocorsa, spend some time with Jason, Kelly and all the team, and try to customize the bike as you would like to get it, okay? At the same time, we work also on the 1100, so you're gonna see actually there, you are one of the first customers in having a look at the bike, because we just recently launched in Pasadena at the Art College, so with some designer here from the United States. And the bike, so we're basically going to have two models, what we call the Simply Pro and the Sport Pro that you have here. So honestly, it's very cool for me. So you're going to have different handlebar, special livery, and again special seat, exhaust, and so on, and all the suspension for the Pro, as well as different colors for the basic one. Now, these are, we were talking about self-expressions, try to tailor the bike. So these are some concepts that we show actually in EICMA, so last year. And it's just to give you some example what we could do with the bike. I mean, it's super easy. This is, for example, just a base on the Scrambler as a sled or Icon, just customized with some supermoto concept, and you ended up in such a kind of bike. But still, even more interesting, which, by the way, I saw an interesting bike outside. I would like to know who's the owner, who's very similar to this one. Who's the owner? Ah, yeah. But still, there is another one outside, very similar, different concept. Now, still we don't know if you're going to produce it or not, but again, these are just examples of bikes we are working on, and we want you also to try to customize yours as much as you can. Okay? Now, moving on, let's go to the Panigale family, and let's start with the V2. So, what's different compared to the 959? Basically everything. So starting from the design, it's more compact, the seat is a little bit longer, so in order to give you a bike a little bit more comfortable. But especially the look is coming from the V4, so same aggressive face, and it's also thanks to the amazing LED lights. Now we have one single side ring arm. Why? Just because it's cool. It's so cool. So that's the only reason. Come on, why not? And then in terms of performance, so compared to the 959, we have better torque and horsepower. But the main point which I want to alert you is that we do have the electronics coming from the V4. So the idea is for all the Panigale segment to give you bike that if you want, you can really push them and go faster, but at the same time, you're always gonna have the full control. Now, I'm a salesman, so you're not gonna trust me, so my suggestion is, just see the reviews of the journalists who attended the launch, the press launch in November or December, I don't remember. You will see that, what did they say? I mean, it's just so easy to ride it, okay? And so cool. I want to highlight also something else. For all the Ducati family bikes now, we do have the Desmo service in 15,000 miles. Actually, for the Multistrada, it's 18,000. So if you have friends say, you know, Ducati is not reliable, no way, okay? That's not true, okay? Now, moving on, Panigale, the V4. V4 for us was a big bet, first four-cylinder bike, so it could have been a disaster or a huge success, and I'm proud to say that in the last 2 years it was the best-selling superbike in the world. We do have a global market share around 20-25%. It means basically every 4 or 5 superbikes sold, one is a V4. That's really outstanding. Now, we could have enjoyed the moment, just make some sales and so on. We said, no, let's keep improving the bike. So what we ended up in having this year is what we call the science of speed. So that's the new V4. So what's new? Aerodynamic, chassis setup, electronic, ride-by-wire mapping. Now, starting from the aerodynamics, you see the look is very similar to the R and the MotoGP concept. Now, is it working? Definitely. So I don't know actually in pounds and in miles, but just the wings, the idea is faster you go, more weight you get and support on the front wheel and on the bike itself. So at 270 kilometers per hour, just because of the wings, you're gonna get extra 28 kilos on the front and rear wheel. So just to give you the stability, okay? So the effect of the wings is to reduce the front wheel floating, as well as the wheelie tendency, even if this was not necessary because of the electronics, but it doesn't matter, and as well as give you especially the stability whenever you're braking. Now, compared to the V4, we knew from the customers that you were complaining that the bike can go faster. So if you're a pro, you can have a lot of fun, but if you are people like me, yeah, you're gonna feel like intimidated by the bike. So what we did is tune the front frame, reducing the weight and the torsional stiffness and the braking stiffness in order to give you a bike that it's easier to ride it. Now, we had a test as well. I don't remember if in Valencia or in Portugal. Basically, we gave the previous V4 and the new ones to some journalists and some pros. Now, Michele Pirro just made a difference in terms of lap of 0.3, 0.5 because it's good, so he knows how to ride, of course. The normal journalists, so people who was not so pros, they managed with the new V4 to increase the lap time of 1.5 seconds. Just because you see more comfort with the bike. So that was the main purpose of the V4. Now, we have also a bunch of other features and so on. We're not going to go into the details, otherwise you're going to fall asleep. Let's move forward. Yeah. Here we go. So, let's say, Desmo 16 stradale, biplane wings, Panigale V4 electronic, high handlebar, minus fairing, 208 horsepower, what we call the fight formula. Show some enthusiasm, show me some love. I'm Italian, come on, come on. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for cooling with Jay. So it is 1 a.m. right after the unveiling of the V4 Street Fighter. So I first want to apologize if I sound a little tired and out of it. It is because it is 1 o'clock in the morning as I edit this video, and I have to be up in 3 hours for work. So I'm extremely exhausted, and I'm going to be extremely exhausted tomorrow. But I wanted to kind of get this video done for Friday. Hopefully I can get it posted Friday or Saturday. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get all the editing out of the way. Anyway, for those of you tuning in for the very first time, thank you for cooling with Jay, and I hope you decide to like and subscribe because that greatly helps me grow my channel. And I own a V4 base modded. I've had it for 2 years. It is my very first sport bike and very first ownership, and I've basically made content about that bike for the last 2 years. So I again also want to say sorry for those of you who didn't care about the first bit of this video. I put it in because some people didn't watch the unveiling back in November, December of the Ducati lineup. So I wanted to include it for those who kind of just wanted a brief information about it, because some people just don't know or don't want to read it and they want to listen to somebody talk about it. So that's why I put it in there. So if you don't like it, skip it. If you did like it, great. And I hope you like the little walk around of the Street Fighter. So I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. So the short of it is that the unveiling was very melodramatic. Like, you know, people weren't really super hyped as they were last year for the V4R. But at the same time, like I said, I think my city's only taken 10 pre-orders. I have put down a pre-order of the V4. So for those of you who didn't know, I have pre-ordered the V4 Street Fighter S model. Okay, so there's the base and the S. I pre-ordered the S. I believe the S is 23,000. And the base is like 19 or 20-ish thousand. But anyway, I pre-ordered the S, so basically my plan is, God willing, by the summer, I will either be trading in my V4 toward the Street Fighter, which is plan B. Plan A, which is the optimal, if everything shakes out, I will trade in / up my V4 toward the Street Fighter, and then I will pick up the new 2020 V4S. So basically I will have a Street Fighter and the new both S models, but you know, the V4S and the V4S Street Fighter is what I'll essentially own in my garage by August. Based on my pre-order now, I am 10th in line, which means I would get my pre-order in July from the last time we spoke. So they've taken 10 pre-orders at my current location in Portland, Oregon. So yeah, Portland, Oregon doesn't have too many bikers, and as far as, like, you know, compared to like California or Florida, I don't know of too many other vloggers other than myself. So I just feel like more people were there just for the experience of something to do, like a night out with their wife, more so than I am here to pre-order it, put a deposit down, I want to buy this bike. That's kind of what the vibe that I got was. Again, it's my assumption. But anyway, as they unveil it, you know, people were like, man, like, it's cool, but like, meh was kind of the overall, I think, takeaway for most people. But for me, I was actually more impressed seeing it in person than I was from the pictures and video. Up close at it, it does look pretty good. Like, you know, looking at it from a diagonal, like a 45-degree angle from the rear tires, toward the front of the bike, it looks amazing. Like I like it a lot, actually. I like it more in person than I did. Definitely the radiator needs to be painted black, for sure. That needs to be painted black, excuse me. The quick shifters, the quick shifter mechanism / rear sets need to be ceramic coated. The same thing with the brake mechanism and the rear set as well. So basically the rear set and brake mechanism and the quick shifter mechanism all need to be, because they are all silver, and that kind of, you know, those all like the flow of the bike. So I think those definitely need to be painted. If I was to get the bike, that would be my first thing on my list. First mods I'd put on there anyway. I was kind kind of surprised that they didn't bring like the fully loaded like they usually do when they have these unveilings. They bring, you know, the fully loaded version of whatever bike it is, you know, with all the carbon fiber, the magnesium wheels, all that whatnot. And this bike was pretty much just a stock S, you know, a S as it would come out of the crate. The only thing they did take off was the mirrors. So they took off the mirrors, which obviously I'm sure is more so just for shipping and packaging more so than for cosmetic, because they didn't even have the Rizoma bar ends on it. So I assume they just took it off just for. So it is missing the mirrors, which would come stock. They weren't on this bike, as you can see in the video and the pictures. There are no mirrors, but they do come on the bike. Let's see what else. The winglets are not carbon fiber; they are plastic. I assume that some third-party companies going to make them, you know, aftermarket carbon from. I haven't seen any on the website yet, but of course the bike isn't out yet. Let's see what else. The only like the biggest thing I didn't like obviously are the running lights. I felt that was kind of a miss. I don't hate them. I just don't love them. They're not terrible. I think they could have done a lot more with them, in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. I do like the engraving of the Streetfighter on the handlebars. I think that's kind of cool. In the center, that's pretty cool. I do know they make a little carbon fiber protector for the TFT dash. It kind of covers it in front. It's kind of like a little windscreen, but it's not a windscreen. It's like it's a carbon fiber piece. So that'd be interesting to see how that looks on the bike. Let's see. And, you know, most of the rest of it, you know, is as a V4 would come, just obviously no fairing. So a lot of it you would see if you know, saw a V4 stripped down. Now, I did obviously sit on the bike, and I can definitely tell, obviously, it's a much more upright position as far as comfortability. That's to be said, because obviously you'd have to actually ride the bike physically to know how comfortable it was. And on top of that, obviously my bike is the base model that I own and not the S, which is going to also be slightly different because obviously I have the Sachs front forks and rear shock, and you know, mine isn't the Öhlins, you know, what's it called? Electronic kit. So those that will make a difference as well. So hopefully I'll get a chance to ride my friend's V4S 2018 before I get to ride the Streetfighter to kind of do a better comparison. The demo bike they said will be in April. I will probably go out and ride it. Part of me wants to ride it. Part of me just wants to wait till I get my bike in to get a first experience. I'll kind of leave that up to y'all guys. So in the comments down below, would you like to see me ride the demo bike, or would you like to wait and like my first impression be on my own V4S Streetfighter? So I will so yeah, in the comments down below, give me what you think I should do as far as demoing the Streetfighter. So yeah, overall, like I said, I was impressed with the bike. You know, a few cosmetic changes I think can be a badass bike. I have seen a few deliveries over in Europe where when they're delivered off the crate, they don't have the winglets on them, and it actually looks pretty good. So I wonder how severe the downforce would be lacking if you took the wings off the bike. So I'd be really curious to see what that would feel like, because then, you know, taking them off, it kind of changes the feel of the bike. You know, it gives it more of a sexier appeal than this more aggressiveness when you take off those wings. You know, maybe just one set of wings might have looked cool, but being at two, it definitely makes it more of a aggressive feeling of a bike and not this, you know, sexy Italian stallion kind of thing. But anyway, guys, I think that's about it. Last bit of news is I am waiting to hear back from the what is it called? Awaken sweepstakes. So long story short, Ducati put out a sweepstakes about middle of February, calling all Ducati enthusiasts basically The idea was to create a 60-second clip about, you know, why you love Ducati, and then you would submit it. And then basically and it was only for the USA. And then they're going to take these submissions, and then they're going to select how many people. It didn't say in the email how many people they're going to select. It just said we're going to select people, and then in March we'll be flown out to California for a day of photography and video shoot for some ad commercial. So that's all I know. From my understanding, they haven't picked anybody yet. No one's been selected. At least I don't know. I haven't gotten an email update whether I have been selected or have not been selected, but I obviously will keep y'all posted, and I'll probably do a video just on that by itself. But I did want to let y'all know that that is also on the horizon. So guys, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I think that's about it. Like I said, seeing the bike, sitting on it, it definitely doesn't change my pre-order. However, it definitely excites me more about having the bike than it does decrease it. So I will say, when I saw the unveiling, I was probably at a 60 to 70%. Now I'm closer to an 80, 85% of me like wanting the bike. I think cruise control and heated grip would definitely put that over the top, and I'd be like, absolutely, for sure, hands down, done deal. Oh, and on the rear of the bike, I'm sure y'all saw the passenger seat. From my understanding, it comes with the passenger seat installed, but you can switch back over to the standard tail section that you get on the, you know, V4, V4s, R, so on and so forth. So I don't know why they swapped it, but I assume it probably comes with both. That just instead of, you know, on the sport version of the bike, the passenger seat comes as a separate piece. But on this bike, the passenger seat is what comes on it. They just swap. So that's my assumption about it, because when you do the configurator online, it's a zero charge, I believe it was, for the standard seat, which means it comes in there, you're just swapping them. I think that is about it. Everything else on the bike is pretty much, as I said, like standard. I think the seat is slightly different curvature than the sport bike or whatever, so which means I'll have to get a new seat cover for this bike, so I won't be able to like just swap seats. So that I'll have to get new. The tank, everything else seems about the standard from the other bikes. It seems like it's going to, like, there's a few tubes and hoses that look a little different, but other than that, you're essentially getting what you got on the V4. So anyway, guys, enough of me rambling. Thank you for cooling with Jay, man. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button, as I'm trying to continue to grow my channel. And I'm trying to get a lot more sponsorships and a lot more content this year of some cool trips and some long rides I'm trying to get put together. Anyway, guys, have a good night, and I'll see y'all in the next video.